Have you ever had a double or a look-alike? In the era of social media, having someone that looks like you could just be a fun coincidence, but lore would have us believe otherwise. In the mythology of these twin strangers, tragedy could befall you if someone sees your double. Worse yet, seeing your own would mark your certain impending death. While the threat of being replaced by such an entity appears to be nothing more than a movie trope, should we all still fear the horrible possibilities of doppelgangers?
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we watch and dissect your favorite spooky movies.
I'm your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this is a mostly horror podcast.
Each season, we will rank 13 movies on a scariness scale from, you guessed it, 1 to 13.
We will uncover the real-life myths and legends that inspire these movies and tell you just how authentic they are.
This week, we impersonate our twin brother in She's the Man.
So, Stephanie,
yes.
Have you seen She's the Man before we watched it for the podcast?
Yes, I really like it.
Do you?
Yeah, I really like this Amanda Bynes movie. I like a lot of the Amanda Bynes movies. Do you?
Do I like this movie?
This movie or the Amanda Bynes?
I love
movie?
Amanda Bynes.
Yes.
So I've never actually watched this movie from start to finish.
Oh.
I've caught it on TV, in the middle.
Okay.
So this is the first time I actually watched the whole thing. I love Amanda Bynes. This movie was okay.
Oh.
No, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It's
a little dated now.
Yes, and it's hard to believe that this could happen at all.
No, it's not really believable at all.
No. And as much as I love Amanda Bynes, just her characterization of Sebastian, some of it I was like, oh God, I can't watch it.
I think it's supposed to be a little cringe on purpose because at first it doesn't really work out for her because she's trying too hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
With the bros and the...
I hated the voice she did some of the times. He had a southern accent thing going on.
Yeah.
It's very hard to describe or impersonate.
So she was mostly up here, in this register as Viola, her normal speaking voice. And then she would do hi, I'm Sebastian. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, and obviously I've seen it or parts of it before, so I knew what to expect, but just seeing it from A to Z, I'm how did any of this?
No, it's not. You have to completely suspend disbelief.
Completely. Yeah, suspension of disbelief. But it was entertaining. It was still a good time. But if I'm looking at it critically, trying to review it in a sense, I'm ugh.
No, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Especially the gender normatives and stuff now are very dated at this point.
Yeah, there's some dialogue choices. I'm oh, yeah, that shows its age. Yeah. It's funny. I was texting our friend Eddie, and they said they like this movie a lot. And,
really?
And I was yeah, it's just so unbelievable. And they're well, yeah, of course. I'm honestly, though, the most unbelievable part is that we're supposed to believe Channing Tatum is a high schooler.
Yeah.
I'm that's a whole ass man.
Honestly, I had to really listen in the beginning because I was well, for the plot, one, to write it all down, but also I swear when I saw it before, this was college.
I thought
that would be more believable if it was college.
Oh, if it was college, yeah, I would have believed it. But was he also a freshman?
I don't think so. I think they only joked that Sebastian Viola as Sebastian was a freshman just because she was tiny.
Oh, yeah.
Not that she actually was.
Right.
I think they were both around 17 or supposed to be.
You're right.
They do not look 17.
Regardless, yeah, he was a full-grown man.
Yes.
I think he was 26 at the time I read.
Oh, really?
I was that's the most unbelievable part.
I mean, I think this was probably one of his first tries at doing comedy though, because he was really big with Step Up, and then he started getting these more goofy or actiony movies. What's the other one that he's in with James Franco and the other guy?
The World's End or something?
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. Okay,
yeah. They also go back to high school in that, but it's actually part of the joke that they don't look the age.
Yeah, I don't know, because when I was doing some of the background, I didn't write this down in my notes, but Amanda Bynes, I guess, pushed really hard for him to be in this movie.
Oh.
And she mentioned seeing him in a commercial. So I was was this one of his first movies?
Maybe, but I feel Step Up came before that. I don't really actually know, but I felt he did the more serious, athletic stuff
Yeah, I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. So yeah, around 2006 was when he first started. Like Supercross he was in 2005.
Oh, okay.
Havoc 2005. Small role in War of the Worlds in 2005. Small role in Coach Carter? Or I don't know about small role, but this is 2005. Huh.
Yeah, I thought Step Up was like his first kind of like starring picture.
Interesting. So yeah, this was one of his first movies. Didn't know that.
No. That's funny that she like campaigned for him. I didn't know, like
that's what I read.
I kind of felt like it was just like they just haphazardly threw him together because he was the new popular hot guy.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I think that's why they were apprehensive because of his age.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, he's definitely not a high schooler.
No.
But regardless, it's okay. It was a fun time. I think it was a little long.
Yeah, even when I was writing the plot, and it might just because of the whole identity switches too, where it's hard to kind of like,
oh my God,
tell you exactly who Sebastian is. And
I know
which Sebastian is Sebastian.
Fake Viola Sebastian.
Yeah,
I will say when you watch this movie on paper, I feel like it would be very confusing.
Yeah.
To like tell someone what's happening.
Yeah.
But
I'm
like,
going to have to call them like Viola Sebastian.
Yeah.
And it was also hard to pick out pronouns because like technically, yeah, she wants to identify as a boy because that's part of the ruse, but she's not really a he, him.
Right.
But yeah.
That's what makes it so confusing. But I was going to say the movie does a great job at not making it like you follow along just fine. Like you see these characters, but like if you actually put it down, like write down how they interact in their relationships, it is fairly complicated how everyone kind of like plays into each other, which is interesting.
There's a couple of times where I was kind of like, I told you before, sometimes I use like Wikipedia as a reference to see like what they thought were like the most important plot points. I added a few points because I was like, there's like that whole situation with real Sebastian's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
they didn't mention
that? They didn't mention that at all. I was like, wow, okay.
That's a decently big part, I would say.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll, mention that too.
Yeah. Interesting. But we did have this as a number 2 on our scariness scale.
What was number 1? Muppets?
Muppets.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should switch those around.
I was going to say, girl, after watching those babies, we're switching.
I felt very safe. And she's the man. In the Muppets with the babies, I did not feel safe.
Honestly, yeah, I think we would probably switch it.
Yeah,
Which is bizarre to say that a Muppet movie.
Yeah.
was creepier.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is another non-horror pick. So we're ending on a fun little romp comedy thing.
Yes. But it is a twin switching places movie. So it's also close to the whole doppelganger subject.
I was like, is it really a doppelganger? It flies close to the topic, but not quite.
Close. It's like when people fake identities and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Got it.
Ready to hear some movie background?
Yeah, let's do it.
So She's the Man is a 2006 American romantic comedy teen sports film. They specifically said sports film, which is...
I mean, soccer is an emphasis.
It's the catalyst to the whole thing, really, which we'll get to when we get to the plot. But it's directed by Andy Fickman, and it stars Amanda Bynes, Channing Tatum, Laura Ramsey, Vinnie Jones, and David Cross. The film centers on teenager Viola Hastings, who enters her brother's new boarding school, Elyria Prep, in his place and pretends to be a boy in order to play on the boys' soccer team. This movie is actually inspired by William Shakespeare's play Twelfth Night.
I've never seen it. Have you?
I've seen a student production of Twelfth Night in college.
Is it really that similar?
I don't know.
Really? You don't remember it?
I don't know what the hell was going on in this Shakespeare play.
That's funny, too, because I remember I ended up writing a paper in college at one point comparing Sydney White, which is another Amanda Bynes movie, to another William Shakespeare play. I think it was like 12 Angry Men or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just funny that she ends up choosing these roles that are all based on Shakespeare plays.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on this. I don't know if your husband was in that one that I watched. He might have been.
Oh, she's married?
No, your husband in real life may have been in the 12th.
Oh, okay. I was like, he was definitely not an Amanda Bynes movie. I would know. It was all we would talk about.
No, in the student play I saw, it might have been that one. I can't recall. I've seen so many plays in college, but I know I saw 12th Night at some point. That being said, I don't know. I think when I read the description, it's similar, just kind of like the swapping of things. And
Yeah. I
I
figured there wouldn't be soccer.
when was soccer invented? Who knows? But if anyone knows, let us know. But the main idea of the twin switching is in there.
Right.
So a little bit of background on Amanda Bynes. First of all, grew up with Amanda Bynes, love her. But if you followed her at all in the recent years, and actually it's been a while now, I feel like, since she started having her like issues.
Well, hasn't she like kind of tampered down a little bit?
I don't know. I looked
I know she was having kind of like a Britney Spears kind of moment for like several years. And I know that's like a mental health thing now and everything. When it was Britney Spears and when it actually was happening to Amanda Bynes, I think everyone was just like, they're crazy now.
Yeah. I still think she's going through it because when I was like looking up some stuff, I didn't really like look into it, but on the outside looking in, it looks like she's still kind of not all okay. She just recently started a podcast with some guy, and I was watching the video. I think it came out like a month ago, and she just still doesn't seem herself. Like she's asking these questions. There's like nothing there. Like I'll have to show you later, but
I think she got a face tattoo.
Yeah,
like
a little heart
or something. Yeah, on her cheek.
Yeah, currently, yeah, she has that, which is fine. Like no judgment to face tattoos. And then her hair's bleached and her eyebrows are like dark blue.
Oh.
So again, no judgment on her appearance, but
didn't she end up blaming a lot of her like mental health on? Well, and I mean, it probably is justified since of all the Nickelodeon, fallouts with whatever his name is.
Dan Schneider?
Yeah, I know he was involved with like her, all that.
He's involved with everything because he's a creep.
The Amanda Bynes show and stuff like that. So
when I was looking at this article, the reason I bring this up is this movie was a catalyst for starting some of that stuff.
Oh.
In the article, it said She's the Man was a catalyst for private turmoil for Amanda Bynes. She spoke about the experience in a 2018 interview with Paper Magazine, saying, "When the movie came out and I saw it, I went into a deep depression for 4 to 6 months because I didn't like how I looked when I was a boy." She said, "I've never told anyone that. It was a super strange and out-of-body experience. It just really put me into a funk." During press for the film at the time, Bynes alluded to the struggle. She said, "I was so tired of doing the voice. I was uncomfortable." She said, "I wish I was a girl the whole time because then it would have been me."
Yeah.
So I guess this is kind of the beginning of some of those
feelings.
Yeah, and I don't, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure if she was diagnosed with anything or if she's just having, just
body dysmorphia.
Yeah. But based on what I saw, this was like kind of the start of some of those things bubbling up.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Like, because it is a fun movie and everything, but you never really kind of think of like the turmoil that actors go through to play certain roles. And
yeah, because you wouldn't think like on the surface that
this was really going to do anything to her psyche or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, just because of how like outlandish it is a little bit and unbelievable that you're like, oh yeah, it's played for gags, but
right. And she, like all that was basically like a kid's version of Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. So it's all like sketch work and stuff like that. So you would assume this would be almost in her range to play another character of like the opposite sex because, sketch work is like a lot of costumes and different people, voices, whatever. But yeah, I'm sorry that it caused an identity crisis.
I know. I mean, maybe because it was such a prolonged experience. Like,
like you spend months and months filming stuff like this,
as opposed to like a couple minute little skit and then you're done. So super interesting, but yeah, just sad what happened to Amanda. Hopefully she gets better because
I feel like she was coming to terms with it a little bit better. I know, like, honestly, I don't know what you watched in the clip, obviously, but I thought it seemed like it had kind of turned down.
Oh, yeah, it did turn down for sure. Like, because
there's times where she was like attacking Drake Bell on Twitter and stuff like that. And obviously he's got issues now.
Oh, yeah. What was that incident? Not that I really want to go too deep into Amanda Bynes lore, but she was like peeing in someone's driveway and like all this. It's definitely like turned down, but you could tell she's still not like back to how she was or in a good spot. But
yeah. I was hoping she'd come back to acting. I mean, honestly, only if she desires to do so. But but still, like, I was hoping to see her again because I think she is really a good actor.
Oh, yeah. She was one of my favorite Nickelodeon stars.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Amanda Bynes.
Funny story, too. I have a cousin named Amanda, and she has brown hair like me and stuff like that. We often got kind of called like sisters or twins growing up, but showing how gullible I was as a child, she was like, come watch my show with me. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, there's this show. It's called The Amanda Show. It's me. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she shows me Amanda Bynes, and I was like, I mean, I guess it could be her. Like,
oh, Stephanie, no.
I was young, but I was also like, brown hair. No, it's not. It can't be you. And she's like, no, for sure, it's me.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. But back into some background on the movie itself. The film was a moderate commercial success. It grossed $57.2 million against a budget of around $20 to $25 million. The film received mixed reviews from critics, but Amanda Bynes' performance was ultimately praised. Rotten Tomatoes gave She's the Man a rating of 44% based on 114 reviews with an average rating of 5.10 out of 10. The critical consensus reads, Shakespeare's wit gets lost in translation with She's the Man's broad slapstick, predictable jokes, and unconvincing plotline. Metacritic gave the film a weighted average score of 45 out of 100 based on reviews from 28 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audience surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film a B+ on a scale of A to F. So, would you have given it a better score?
I think a B is a solid grade for it. I mean, it's not like revolutionary or anything, but I think it's fun. And although the story can be based on Shakespeare, I wasn't going in and expecting like a full like theatrical Shakespearean experience either. So I think apples to oranges kind of in comparison to even try to think that there would be a lot of Shakespearean reference.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
They probably shouldn't have included that in the description that it was actually based on that. No.
No, that's not a good way to rate that. Yeah, sure, it's loosely based. But the term here, loosely.
Honestly, they should have just said like a twin swapping scenario just because that's more common, like Parent Trap and all that stuff, than it is to compare it to a William Shakespeare play. Are you ready to get to the plot?
Yes, I am.
Viola Hastings is a teenage girl with ambitions to play college soccer in North Carolina. She currently plays on the girls' team at her high school, Cornwall, but the team is suddenly cut right before the start of the school year. She and her team take the matter to the head coach and ask for a chance to try out for the boys' team, but he refuses because girls aren't as fast or as strong as boys. All like this weird little rhyme too. It's just a matter of fact and blah, 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 blah. You can't deny that and stuff like it was very Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Or Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah,
if
probably. Probably. To top it off, the boys' team captain, her boyfriend, Justin, agrees with the coach, so Viola dumps him. And I don't know, it seems like a little, not excessive that she dumps him.
Yeah.
But like the way that they're reacting to the whole, like, how ridiculous it is to have girls come and ask to try out for the boys' team.
Right. And can I say, before this, there's a little, like, as the credits are playing, there's a montage of them playing soccer at the beach. And she's good.
Yeah.
Like, she's killing it. She's,
it's
like,
not
doing
like this
flips
team is like just the babies just playing soccer while the real team plays. Like,
right. I don't know.
It's just crazy.
Just like, boys are better. Like, it's just...
right.
Even, I'm not going to get into athletics and separating gender, whatever. But the way they, like, do it is so...
Yeah.
Like, boys are just better in every possible way. Like, that's the vibe it gets.
Right.
Like, okay, come on now.
So when she returns home, Monique, the shallow girlfriend of her twin brother Sebastian, mistakes her for him from behind and confronts him for not calling her. They have a brief exchange showing that they don't like each other, and Sebastian often doesn't call her back. Meanwhile, Sebastian, who has just transferred to the private boarding school Illyria due to skipping classes, is about to purposefully miss the first 2 weeks of school so he can play at a festival in London with his band.
Bro.
Yeah.
Sebastian, come on.
But yeah, Sebastian is like literally about to like crawl out the window right as she's coming home. And he was like, yeah, you'll cover for me, right? And she's like, Sebastian.
No, I've been like, well, he's screwed.
Yeah.
Screw Sebastian. And it's crazy to me going back a little bit, how she just assumed she was Sebastian. She was wearing a hoodie and like track pants or something and just had the hood up. And then she was like, Sebastian. And before we even get into further in the plot, there's a height difference between these two.
Yeah.
Decent height difference.
And obviously, they're fraternal twins and everything. It's not like they're identical because, you can't be identical and be a boy and a girl. But a lot of the times I'm like, there's no way you'd mistake these for the same people once you realized who they are.
Right.
Like, especially someone's girlfriend or something. Like, you know, you're spending intimate time with them, you know, assuming that you're really close to their face.
Right.
To confuse them is strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... They're obviously setting up that,
yes,
like, oh,
this often happens. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And I think even when she's coming into, we'll get to it further in the plot, but Viola's and Sebastian's family are like well-to-do, obviously, because, you know, Sebastian's about to go to a boarding school and her parents are separated or divorced. But I guess they often have the complaint that Viola's too tomboy and they want her to do a whole debutante ball where you like come out into society as a girl and everything and wear a fancy dress and do like proper manners and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's not really into it.
Yeah, she's like, I am a lady. I must let everyone know that.
Yes.
And the only like tomboyish thing we get about her is that she plays soccer.
Right. And
like,
she's just more interested in playing soccer than doing all of this frilly stuff, which honestly, I wouldn't want to do a debutante ball really either.
I mean, I might. No, just kidding.
But her mom even says when they have this argument that like, I swear you're just like having another brother or something like that, or you're just like your brother.
Yeah. Which they seem very different too, because like Sebastian doesn't play soccer or anything. He just seems interested in his music. So they are very different too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just very weird because like if you saw Viola, like you wouldn't think tomboy. Like,
right. No. Like she has long
her.
hair and everything. She dresses girly when she's outside of the whole Sebastian get up and everything. And yeah, she just happens to play soccer.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a tomboy.
How dare her?
I know. Women can't play sports unless they're tomboy.
Yes.
So that's it. It's either you play sports and you're tomboy or you're not a tomboy and you can't do sports.
Yep, I guess so. Yeah, either that or you need to get your like white gloves out and your fancy dress. No soccer for you.
No soccer.
So Sebastian convinces Viola to cover for him, telling their divorced parents that they are staying at the other's house. Realizing the opportunity to get revenge on her ex and prove that girls can play soccer just as well as boys, Viola decides to pass herself off as Sebastian at Illyria to join their soccer team. It's a far-fetched plan.
That is so much just to prove a point.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what, go off. But also, like, that is, I won't even go through that much effort for something very important. Like, she's like, I need to join the team just to play this one game against her ex.
Yeah. Granted, though, like, I feel like when I saw the movie before, I didn't think of it in the time frame of only 2 weeks. I thought she was there for like almost half the year.
Okay.
But this is only the span of 2 weeks, I guess. So
yeah,
but also you're like, what's happening at her school? Like
that's what I thought.
They notice that she's not there when they call the parents.
Yeah, I was like, okay, but who's filling in for real Viola?
Right.
Like, that was like pothole. They never mentioned that.
No one gets a call or anything about it either. So
she's about to have to go to Illyria for skipping school, like Cornwall.
Right. Well, I think she'd prefer that by the end. So.
Oh yeah, for sure at that point.
Yes. Viola's stylist friend Paul helps her look and act more like Sebastian, and she's able to go to Illyria in his place without her parents knowing and distracting her mom by agreeing to participate in the debutante coming out events coming up.
Do you want to talk about what she looks like as a dude, or do you mention that later in the plot?
I do not, so go ahead.
Okay. It looks like Amanda Bynes with short hair and some sideburns. There's this whole montage of like trying to, you know, get the makeup to look like a guy and all this stuff and like trying to walk the walk, which again, if Sebastian's girlfriend mistook Viola for Sebastian, she already walked like Sebastian, so that was moot.
Right.
It just looks like Amanda Bynes with short hair and just some sideburns. I'm like, there's like barely a transformation here.
Right. And just to compare it to, have you ever seen the movie Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, think about that. Like, you know, he actually transformed. He had, like, a whole mask and everything. It was completely, like, a full transformation. This is just the bare minimum. Honestly, too, like, there's no way if you actually had met Sebastian previously. This is honestly the whole reason I think she's getting away with it. Because since he's transferring to a new school, no one's actually met him.
Right.
But the thing that frustrates me is, like, a lot of people, even after meeting both of them,
that's
still confuse them.
Yeah, I guess like if I don't know, because like I guess if you never knew this person and you saw Sebastian,
You'd just be like, I guess, yeah,
like you wouldn't know, to your point. But as an audience viewer, having seen Viola, they frame it as like this big transformation.
Oh, it's a huge disguise.
It's not. So that's what I mean by that. Like if you saw Sebastian, like I wouldn't question. If you said you were a guy, of course, then yeah,
right.
Like I wouldn't question it. But because they, make it a point to have this whole montage where she's getting done up, and they show parts of getting like facial hair. She doesn't even do that. I was like, okay.
It would make a little bit more sense, but I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they could have done better, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
well, honestly, too, like Amanda Bynes is just like a very recognizable person. And I feel like, it's a huge stretch, I feel like, to find a man that would look similar to her. She's pretty directly feminine. So
I don't know. I don't know. How do I phrase this? I feel like making a man into a woman, quote unquote, is easier than making a woman look really manly.
Yeah.
Based on like what I've seen.
I guess so. I feel like they probably could have found someone better to cast as Sebastian.
Yeah.
To at least look a little bit more, like if they would have cast with the idea of making him look like Amanda Bynes, then I think it would have been easier for Amanda Bynes to look like this man.
Yeah. It's like reversing it and then.
Yeah. Well, because like it comes down to having like similar features. Like Amanda Bynes has like a round face. Sebastian has like a more angular face and a more angular nose. It's very obvious that it's not him. Like,
right. Yeah. So to your point, they never met him, so it doesn't matter. But as an audience person watching the movie, you're like, that totally doesn't work. But I digress. Move on.
Yes. So basically, from now on until I say the real Sebastian comes back, this is all Viola as Sebastian.
Yes.
While moving in, Sebastian meets her roommate, Duke Orsino, the soccer team's captain, and ends up weirding him and his friends out when he tries to pass off the tampons in his bag as a remedy for nosebleeds.
I mean, you know what?
It looked effective.
Yeah,
I will say, I've never tried it.
You're right. Honestly, it probably would work.
Yeah, it probably helps. At soccer tryouts, Sebastian fails to impress the coach and is assigned to second string, meaning it's likely he won't play.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp.
Go home. I would be like, all right, I guess my plan's over now.
And that's basically how she takes it, because like she's already like a social pariah at this point, like because everyone thinks she's weird. And she got second string for the game, so she's not going to even be able to play against her ex. So yeah, frustrated with the soccer tryouts and being treated as a freak by the other kids, Viola confides in Paul, who with some of their friends orchestrates a scene at a local restaurant in front of her schoolmates from Illyria to make Sebastian look like a ladies' man. Unexpectedly, though, Monique shows up to confront Sebastian for ghosting her, but Viola is able to keep far enough away so she's not recognized and publicly announces that Monica and him are over.
Yeah, they're at the pizza place, and she's like hiding behind menus and like stacks of pizzas. And good for her for like keeping this up, because I would have folded so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, it's me, Viola. I'm so sorry. I could explain everything.
Right. And honestly, though, this Monica chick sucks, so she couldn't even like probably take her aside.
Monique?
Yeah.
You said Monica.
Oh, I have it as Monica in my notes one time, so that makes sense. Okay.
Oh yeah, Monique, Monica.
Either way,
it's ex lady.
This ex girl. She sucks. So I doubt Viola could have taken her aside and been like, I'm trying to do something here. Can you just play along or get out? Like,
yeah, no way.
Yeah, no, she would have blown it. So now perceived in a better light, Sebastian becomes more desirable, and his teammates start looking to him for advice with girls. In a lab class, Sebastian is partnered with the popular Olivia Lennox, a girl Duke has a crush on. Duke and Sebastian agree that if Duke helps Sebastian with soccer, in exchange, Sebastian will talk to Olivia about Duke. So many names.
I know. So, in summation, Duke likes Olivia. Duke wants Sebastian to talk to Olivia. Or
like
to
talk him up.
About Duke.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So that's first step one.
Yes.
Of this debacle.
It's a triangle. Or maybe even a square.
It's like a line. It's currently a line. Duke to Sebastian to Olivia.
Yes. That weekend at the Debutante Junior League Carnival, Viola is signed up by her mother to work the kissing booth, where Duke is in line waiting to kiss Olivia, but ends up kissing Viola when she takes over her shift. Viola's ex, Justin, breaks up the kiss, he and Duke being soccer team rivals, and they fight, getting kicked out of the fair. And honestly, though, as soon as Duke saw Viola, he should have recognized immediately that this is his roommate without the wig.
Right, exactly.
Right.
This is where everything starts falling apart.
Yes.
Like, in multiple facets.
Yes.
So, that, but also Viola shows no signs of really liking Duke.
Right.
Until right this second.
Mm-hmm,
She's like, oh, he kissed me. Now I fucking love this man.
Yes.
I'm like, girl, no, please.
I mean, it is Channing Tatum, though. Maybe she had like an inkling, but, she was too focused on the soccer stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
and she also is just getting out of a relationship, too. That's also one of the ways she weirds the guys out, too. She tries to talk to them about her breakup with Justin kind of briefly, like vaguely, not saying that she broke up with Justin, but just saying, like every kiss, every touch. And they were like, oh.
Why is the boys saying this?
Why is he saying feelings?
No, boys don't do that.
No.
So this scene. Also, her mom is expecting real Sebastian to be there.
Yes.
And then, obviously, Duke's expecting fake Sebastian. And then the mom's also expecting Viola.
Mm-hmm.
So she's constantly changing in and out of these costumes. I would have been like, if I were her, I'd be like, okay, I can make the first half as Sebastian, and then as Viola, I'd be like, okay, well, I could come like later, but I won't be there right on time.
Yeah.
That way you could do half
something
if you have to. She's like constantly changing back and forth. It was so stressful.
But I feel like too, like, I guess she had to go as Sebastian because one, her mom was expecting him to be there, but also because he went with his teammates. But really, we never see any conflict with like where's Sebastian? He's supposed to be working this booth or something like that. So
yeah, she's changing.
Honestly,
for no reason.
She could have just been Viola the whole time and just been like, I don't know where Sebastian is.
Right. Problem solved.
Yeah, I guess so. Back at the dorm, Duke asks Sebastian about Viola, and she's thrilled because she's starting to like him as well. However, Olivia has bonded with Sebastian and now has a crush on him. In the hopes of making him jealous, she asks out Duke, and Sebastian is furious when he accepts and is no longer interested in Viola.
Mind you, yeah, so like...
Go for it.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was waiting for you to say things.
I just so... because Duke was like so ready to... He was about to call or text Viola, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Olivia's like, hey, let's do this. And he's like, okay, fuck Viola, never mind.
Yeah, I think that's, like, I love Channing Tatum, and I don't mind this character, but also I kind of don't like the whole, like, as soon as Olivia becomes available, he just forgets about Viola, and, it's obvious that this girl that he's been going to school with for 3 years isn't interested in him.
Right, exactly. And it just shows that like, he just liked Viola because...
She was available.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it frustrating when they, like, it takes so long for him to see, like, the light or whatever, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, I liked Olivia at first, and I really did not like her after this part.
Yeah.
Like, I get what she's doing, but also I'm like, it's just, I don't know, the way it was presented. I'm like, you're not very nice.
No. And she gets this whole idea talking to a friend in the gym, and the friend is like, you know what us mere mortals would do? Like, because I guess she's so hot, like she's never had to actually think about how to pursue somebody that might not like her. And I'm like, I can't sympathize with this woman anymore. Like,
I know. I really liked her character until this very moment. Like, never mind.
Yeah. At a debutante luncheon, Viola talks to Olivia and realizes that her dating Duke was just an attempt to get Sebastian's attention, and advises her that she should tell Sebastian how she really feels, which I've been confused, like, because this kind of really puts a nail in her coffin for a while with Duke, that this was, I don't know, the way to redirect Olivia, I guess.
It was just to get Viola off of Duke, really.
Or Olivia off of Duke.
Is that what I said? Or say Viola?
Yeah, you said Viola.
Jesus Christ. Olivia off of Duke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so. Unbeknownst to Viola, the actual Sebastian arrives back from London early, and Olivia surprises him, confesses her feelings, and kisses him as he's getting out of the cab. Again, kisses this man, and is obviously not the person that she's been talking to, and he is taller and...
Like, by, like, a good 6 inches.
Yeah, and not the person she's been talking to.
Right, yeah. Very clearly, very obvious.
And they make it seem like, she kisses them so quick with her eyes closed and, like, holds him with, like, her head over her shoulder. So it makes it seem like she just kiss some stranger and doesn't know.
And Sebastian's like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, he's thrilled because he's like, I'm going to like it here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, Duke sees their kiss and assumes his roommate has deceived him to get to Olivia. When Viola, as Sebastian returns to their room, they have an argument and Duke kicks him out.
And she has no idea why.
Yeah, right. She has no idea why he thinks that she's been after Olivia this whole time. The next day, Viola oversleeps and misses the first half of the game against Cornwall, while the real Sebastian is mistaken for her as Sebastian and winds up poorly playing his sister's game instead.
Yeah, he just, no questions asked. He just, like, gets ready. He's like,
yeah, well,
I guess I'll play soccer now.
Well, I guess because that Olivia girl says that, like, I'll see you at the game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so you're just going to go with the fact that you play soccer now just based on this one interaction with a stranger?
Yeah. And
he's like, I got to go to this game and I got to play it, apparently.
He has no idea what the hell he's doing. And I actually didn't realize until this point that he didn't play soccer too. I thought they both did.
No, he doesn't.
No, he has no idea. And they're like, what do you do? They're like all yelling at him.
Right. So at halftime, Viola explains the situation to him and they switch places again. And honestly, I'll get to it. It's just confusing to explain it in this whole game. Duke's still furious at Viola. Sebastian refuses to cooperate with him on the field. Monique and R.A. and the principal interrupt to reveal Viola's secret, but it's during actual Sebastian's time on the field. So he pulls down his shorts to reveal he's a boy, and everyone's like, okay, now that we know this boy's a boy, can we go? Like,
yeah, now we see his peepers.
Yes. And during the second half, Viola, as Sebastian, ends up fighting with Duke for ignoring him on the field and proves she never betrayed him by showing everyone he is actually Viola by flashing her breast.
And taking the wig off.
Oh, yes, eventually, yes.
And they're like...
That would be weird.
She takes the wig off, the boy wig, and they're still like, you're not a girl.
Yeah, you're not a girl. You just have long hair. Like, and she's like, what the fuck are you talking? Fine. And everyone's like, honestly, they both should have been dragged off the field for exposing themselves, but whatever. Everyone's like, cool, now we know. And Justin and the rest of the Cornwall team try to get her kicked out for breaking the rules and letting a girl on the team, but their coach, Coach Dinklage, says that they don't discriminate against gender and lets her keep playing. Illyria finally wins the game when Viola scores a goal, humiliating Justin and the rest of the Cornwall boys. Honestly, her coach is really funny to me, too. He's like this mean British guy. And when they are doing that fight on the field where Viola, Sebastian is fighting Duke, like it just ends up to being like this whole like team squabble.
Yeah.
And he's just like walking up to people and just pulling them down by their collar onto the ground.
Yeah. It was funny.
Even the mascots are kicking each other and he's like, no, and just pushes them both over.
Mm-hmm. Like, good for him.
Yes. But he's the real one because like they tried to kick out Viola with like the handbook and he was like, what handbook? And rips it in half. Yeah. Yes. But anyway, so they win. Justin's humiliated and the rest of the Cornwall boys are like, girl beat us. Like,
oh, poo. Oh, boo.
And everyone at Illyria celebrates their victory over Cornwall except for Duke, who's heard about Viola's deception. Viola introduces Sebastian and Olivia officially, and they begin dating.
That's not the person you fell in love.
Right, and she's just okay with it because, the other Sebastian was a girl all along.
Yeah, you must be the same.
Right. No.
I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like...
Whatever.
Yeah.
She and Sebastian's divorced parents also make up exchanging contact information to be better parents for their children. She invites Duke to her debutante ball through an invitation delivered by Sebastian, now Duke's actual roommate. Still hurt, Duke doesn't respond to the invitation, devastating her. At the ball, Viola fears Duke won't show up, so she distracts herself by helping Olivia get ready, and is touched when Paul offers to be her escort instead. Her mother shows up with a dress better suiting Viola's style. Earlier, her mother is trying to force her into some big, lavish gown, so Viola decides to make her debut, but wants to get some air first. She actually ends up running into Duke outside, who admits he has feelings for her, but insists on no more deception, which she promises. At the ball, Monique is escorted by Justin, Olivia by Sebastian, and Viola and Duke enter the stage late, but together. Viola and Duke share a kiss before joining the crowd. At the end of the film, we see Viola and Duke are shown happily playing on Illyria's soccer team together.
Yay! So hopefully you followed any of that. I would not blame anyone. If they didn't, you have to see it.
Yeah, basically the exes got together for this scenario. Olivia got with Viola's brother.
Real Sebastian.
And Viola and Duke are now together.
Yeah. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. And Viola keeps getting to play soccer, just at a different school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yay.
Yay.
It was fun. It was a fun time. I did want to mention one thing. I was just cracking up when at one point they were like talking and like Viola Sebastian does this thing. He like catches himself. Is like, oh, I need to talk like a man, and starts like degrading people and like
degrading women.
Yeah. And then Duke's like, why do you do that? Like, she's not a piece of meat or something like along those lines.
Oh, like, why do you talk about women in such graphic terms?
Yeah.
Because like he was comparing Viola to Olivia or something like that, like when he first meets Viola, and he's like, so which one do you like or which one do you want to see naked? Like,
yeah. And then it's so funny because he says that, he pushes back, and then there's like this moment, like the music is like all like, swells a little bit, and Viola Sebastian goes, oh, you're a sensitive guy. And I'm just like, it made me laugh. I'm like, oh, so just treating a woman with respect makes you a sensitive person and not just like a human being.
Right.
So that was funny.
You're
so
sensitive.
I bring that up to say, if you plan on watching this movie, stuff like that happens. So if you're like turned off by something like those really surface level gender
normative
things, you're not going to like this movie too much. I mean, again, it does make you think about those things. Again, very surface level. It's not like deep or anything, but those do appear in this movie. That one stuck out to me because I'm like, oh my God.
And honestly, though, it doesn't really matter if that's what he says to Viola as Sebastian, because when Viola Sebastian tried to open up about her breakup to the team, well, it was just like him and two other guys. They all just left her stranded there. Like, so, meaning, like, not on the outside is he going to be this emotional person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a high school romance, so who knows?
Right. And then the one other thing I mentioned earlier, how good she was at soccer, they show her. And she's playing with guys and girls, everything. And then the scenes where she's like practicing for the team, it's like she forgot everything when she makes second string,
Yeah.
And then when she's learning from Duke, they made it seem like he's so much better, which just like reinforces the idea that guys are better.
Like that she needed to step up
to
be better.
So I was like, well, that kind of just defeats the whole premise.
Yeah,
or like
because it's supposed to be that she was already as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just something I wanted to mention in the plot but forgot about. So just wanted to bring that up. That was another little ding.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're like, really trying to focus in on some of the, I feel like the messaging is a little lost. But again, it's a high school.
It's all that
comedy. Like, don't be that serious about it.
And plus, it's this very like elementary school way of looking at like boys are better than girls kind of scenarios. Sure. So, like, if that's really going to bother you, don't watch it. But obviously, it's not something that you have to really think hard about.
Right.
Obviously, this is bullshit. So
it's all bullshit. This whole movie is bullshit.
It's a plot for a comedy. So
exactly.
Yeah. Would you like to hear about how some real twins have switched places?
Yes, I do.
So, twins switching places is a phenomenon where identical or very similar-looking twins exchange roles or identities in various situations. This can be for playful or mischievous reasons, or in some cases to fulfill each other's responsibilities or experience each other's lives. The advantage of twins switching places lies in their similar or identical appearance, allowing them to convincingly pose as each other. However, this can also lead to humorous or challenging situations, especially if the twins have contrasting personalities or lifestyles. The concept of twins switching places is a popular plot in various forms of media, often leading to humorous or insightful outcomes. This trope is often used to explore the ups and downs of each other's lives with an underlying moral lesson or revelation. Some real-life twins have shared stories of swapping places, and here's what I found on online forums on the subject. Reddit user Mr. Buckskin says, so my identical twin brother had a homework assignment from his creative thinking class in grad school. He was studying marketing advertising. The assignment was to become an expert on a subject you are not familiar or experienced with over the weekend and present what you know to the class on Monday. I just happened to be driving through his town. He asked me if I could help him present his homework assignment to his class. I was skeptical at first. I just graduated undergrad and was tired of school, but after hearing his idea, I couldn't resist. His class was first thing Monday morning. In the back of the classroom, there's the small lobby area for people's coats and whatnot. My role was to wait there unseen by his teacher and classmates until it was his time to present, and I was given my cue. After about 20 minutes of waiting and listening to other students present their work, it was finally his turn. He stands in front of the class and tells everyone that over the weekend he became an expert on time travel. He goes on to tell the class that he has come up with a theory and invention that will make time travel possible. He says, "Allow me to explain with this diagram," and turns to the chalkboard. That's my cue. I burst into the room and I say, "Stop the presentation! Stop the presentation!" The class is silent and somewhat alarmed. What, why? Who are you? My surprised brother asked me. "It's me, you. I'm you from the future. Your invention works. It really works, but you have to go home immediately and turn the gas off to your stove."
Oh, my God.
"I'll explain more later, but hurry, you don't have much time." I explain and run out the room. My brother turns and tells the teacher he's sorry, but he has to cut his presentation short and leaves the class to check on his apartment. The teacher lifts up his fingers and is about to object, but instead smiles and says, "Well done. He got an A."
Oh my God. That's great.
That's crazy.
I love that
I love
idea.
it too. I didn't realize too when I first wrote it down that it was for grad school. I was like, this would definitely go in like elementary or high school, I guess.
Mhm.
But grad school, that's funny.
That's great. It would only work if obviously people didn't know
That you didn't have a twin.
they had a twin, but I like that. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Quora user Mirden Amirez states, "Not me and not twins, but I will tell the story anyway. My husband and his brother are a year apart in age and look very similar. They commonly are mistaken for each other. Like, for instance, if they're in a crowd, they'll be like, 'Oh, hi, Mike, I thought you were John,' whatever. So I've seen them switch identities, never with people they knew and always for a reason other than just to mess with people. 2 times that readily come to mind. My brother-in-law was trying to get hired for a position that would greatly advance his career. Everything was lined up and looked perfect until they asked him to take a drug test. Now he isn't a drug user, but in a very out-of-character move, he had smoked weed with a girl he was dating the weekend before. So my husband took his brother's paperwork and identification to the lab and passed the drug test for him." Mm-hmm. Another time this happened, my husband was helping my father with repairs to the house. There was an accident and my husband was injured by a tool hitting him in the face.
Oof.
Some of his teeth were knocked loose and he was in tremendous pain. We didn't have dental insurance nor the cash to pay for the oral surgery he needed. So his brother gave him his insurance cards and identification so he could get the dental work but charge his brother's insurance.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Right? No one ever found out. They will always do whatever they can to help each other and felt lucky that they had this ace up their sleeves.
Oh my God. I would definitely do that if I was in that spot.
Right? Ariel starts with an R. Counters on Quora. No, never. As identical twins, we had to fight to be seen as 2 separate people. You'd be surprised how many people saw us as 2 halves of a whole or completely interchangeable. A lot of people wouldn't bother to learn how to tell us apart because they never had to stop using the twin excuse. We stopped matching as soon as we were old enough to change. My sister would throw a fit if we accidentally put on the same shirt. I would correct people if they mistook me for her, but she'd refuse to answer to my name entirely. A twin switch would just be reinforcing the idea that we're one interchangeable person. Nothing could be worth it. End of story. But overall, twin switching places is a fascinating and often entertaining aspect of twin dynamics, showcasing the unique bond and connection between identical or very similar looking siblings."
I wish I had a twin.
Yeah. It sounds convenient.
I know. I like it. Those were good. I like those. They were all pretty fun stories.
Yeah, I thought I'd just include a counter to show that not all twins want to do this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure for as many benefits there are as having a twin, there's just as many downfalls with anything.
Yeah, there's quite a few where people got caught too and stuff like that. So
busted.
It was usually just to like fake a homework assignment or something or whatever when they were in school. So it wasn't huge deals, but still.
Yeah. I feel like every twin I've ever encountered identical or mostly identical, like I was still able to kind of tell them apart.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I went to school with several twins before and I was, because they're identical, but there's always like one thing that's a little different.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
I don't know if it would work on me.
I can always tell.
I always know when you lying, twins.
Why you be lying?
Why you always lying? Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful and we always appreciate it.
You can find us on social media at 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait wait so long. Wouldn't it be nice to be together?
I'm cutting you off.
I don't know it all.
Okay.